check the audio, make sure everything's good to go there. Check, 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 check. All right, nice. So that sounds great. A little bit breezy out here today, guys. That's all right. So, what's the agenda for today? Get loose, number 1. Number 2, more speed training. Body feels pretty good. And then probably answer some questions, do some drills, and that'll be it. So kind of 2 topics for today. Hey, Jackson's here. Sycamore's here. RST is in here. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the stream. Oof. Another thing that's nice about the heat is it helps the body get loose, which is important. Definitely harder to get the muscles going on a cold day. Gets worse the older you get. So I'm just going to start loosening up the swing. We've got our Hollywood's in here. Hey, Hollywood. Hollywood's been dropping some nice comments on the channel recently. All right, guys. This was yesterday. Yesterday we gained 5 miles an hour. I'm probably just going to post the full 20-minute session from yesterday because, I mean, 5 miles an hour in 20 minutes is pretty good. Pretty substantial amount of speed. All right, so the way this works, guys, we write down our max speed with each of the 3 weighted clubs, as well as, you know, kind of where we start with the driver. And the interesting thing about the Super Speed protocol is they also have you train your non-dominant side, so I'm going to be making some left-handed swings as well. And we can all laugh about how awkward that looks. So yeah, these are the weighted clubs that we're going to be using. These are from Super Speed Golf. Baseball said hi. Hey, Baseball. Hopefully everybody enjoyed watching some of the Open Championship this morning. Scotty Scheffler once again running away with it. Seems like he's going to be tough to beat. Good strike to get started here. So again, really just trying to get the body moving, see how everything's feeling before I jump into turning on the radar and seeing what kind of speed we can dial up today. Always want to start slow. Try not to, you know, it's like a car engine. You wouldn't want to just turn it on and try to go to 100 miles an hour. You got to let it warm up a little. Excited says, we laughing anyway, brother. Thanks for your comment. Try not to get stung by the bees. But I'm really the one invading their home out here, so. good to feel that stretch and a little quick with that one, but again, just trying to get loose before we start trying to get some real speed going. So yesterday, guys, like I mentioned a minute ago, the baseline with the driver was 108 miles an hour. And after about 15 to 20 minutes of overspeed training, we got that up to 113. So not, you know, certainly we're not going to make that much progress every day, but for day one, that was very encouraging to get a baseline. Back at it with the NA beer. Important to stay hydrated, guys. All right, so let's get started on the speed training. We're going to use our PRGR portable launch monitor. Hollywood says, I just did my lefty swing and yours is beautiful in comparison. That's funny. Drizzy says, drink alcohol. Well, if you want to, you can. I'm not gonna, but... All right, so we'll set this to the driver setting. And always start with green, which is the light one. All right, so we've got that set up there. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I messed up. We're supposed to do the baseline with the driver first. That's what I always want to start with. All right. So no warm-ups with this club. Let's just see what we got. $103. That doesn't feel quite right, but could be. 108. 105. 106. 106. All right, so 108 is going to be our baseline max with the driver. Tattoos used to be taboo, now soccer moms and golfers have them. True. Driver first, of course, missed the net with the ball. No, I'm going to try not to. We're definitely going to try not to. All right, so guys, 108 baseline today again, same as yesterday. Now let's start running through the protocol. 5 swings with the green light stick, and let's take the highest one. Oh, got the backswing. $119. Got the backswing again. 118. 117. 116. All right, so 119 is the number over here for green. Can you hit a ball straight swinging that fast? Yeah. I mean, certainly, we talked about this yesterday a little bit, guys, but the idea with this training is to get that ceiling on your speed higher so that when you are on the golf course, you can kind of cruise, right? Swing at maybe 90%, a level where you are quite confident you can keep the ball in play and you know where it's going to go, hit the, you know, the center of the face regularly. All right. Lefty swings now. 101, 102, backswing, 105, I like that, 105 again. All right, so I think that's a little faster than yesterday, potentially. 105. All right. What's my handicap, my putting? Usually close to 0 max. Cody said hi. Hey, Cody. What's up, my dude? All right, so a quick breather, then we're going to get our blue medium weight club in action. Also, guys, there's going to be a video coming out about it, so you're not missing anything, but just a preview. I'm going to be teaming up with First Responder Golf. That's Steve Pope's channel, and he does a lot of great work trying to, talk about mental health and bringing awareness to tools like therapy, much in the same way that I do. So we're going to start doing some giveaways for, clubs and memorabilia, apparel, that kind of stuff. So you haven't missed anything. The videos are going to be coming out soon. But in short, you just got to go follow me and Steve on Instagram. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. So 2 steps. And there's going to be a mechanism where you'll drop a check mark in the comments of the video. We'll do a kind of a randomized number thing. And we'll start giving away some equipment, some cool stuff. It's all in service of trying to, help people understand that this is a real crisis happening all across the world, really. It's only going to get worse as things like, this flooding continues to happen. Volatility in the economy, right? All these things are going to impact mental health broadly. So trying to, help people find ways to talk about this stuff, to make it, more normal to talk about. That's the whole point, right? These are issues that we all experience. Anxiety, depression, right? Things like therapy are just tools, right? The same way I'm using these tools to try and get better at golf. There are tools that, are available to us, for mental health, for other things. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be coming soon. All right. $114. 111. Got the backswing. The backswing again. 108. 113. 113. All right, so 114 max on the righty side. Just never argue, look forward to every day, you'll be happy. I think that is some great advice, Sycamore. I think there's a lot to be said for, being present. But it's not always that easy for everybody, right? People have experiences or careers sometimes that force them to deal with traumatic things, That's what, I was talking about Steve's channel. He's a firefighter in Kansas City, and, those are the kinds of people that are out there, seeing everybody's worst day, right? But it's every day for them. Obviously that takes a toll, You know, I have family who work in emergency medicine, and they see really, really awful things all the time. And uh, we need those people, right? But we also need to, you know, provide them resources and outlets and understanding to be like, hey, you guys deal with some crazy stuff. Like, I can't imagine, you know, having to put people back together and try and save their lives and all this stuff, right? You know, so we have to be grateful for that, but we also have to say, you know, how can we support these people and make sure that they have resources? So that's really the whole idea. All right, let's make some more awkward lefty swings. Hope it gets picked up here. 100. 96. 102. 100. 102. All right, so 102 max on the lefty side. Amradi, we're using the PRGR portable launch monitor. Thanks, Grace. That's a nice comment. RST says, golf needs to be recommended to everyone struggling. We joke about breaking irons over our knees, but it's meditative. I work in the cardiovascular OR, and looking forward to the day is easier said than done. People die. Yeah, see, I mean, I think, like, we still need people like you. Thank you for doing that work, by the way. Right, but we also need to understand when they're like, hey, guys, you know, we need breaks and time off and resources like therapists and psychiatrists and, like, all this stuff. We can't just expect these industries to keep churning people out. Usually around 0, Roddy. Yeah, and I agree with RST's comment too, right? Golf can be a really good way to, you know, give yourself something to focus on, something to improve on, especially in recovery, right? You know, to have something to fuel your day, right? And golf's a great way to, you know, meet people, get outside, get some exercise. All right, guys, here we go. All out with the red heavy club now. 107. 108. 106. 108. 109. 109 with the heavy club's pretty solid. 109. Hey, Andrew Ricker's back in here. What's up, Andrew Ricker? Do you think it's worth investing in a tracker? I think for something like speed training, it's definitely worthwhile to have some data. You know, be able to measure your performance over a period of time. Right? And it helps. I mean, you can certainly do the swings with intention and get a lot of value out of doing the protocol. But in my experience, there's something valuable about, you know, there's a data point there and, like, all right, it told me 109, and I know, like, if I swing a little bit faster, I might go to 110, right? And that's the only data point that I care about during speed training, right? I'm not worried about, did I hit the ball? Where'd the ball go? But you can also just, you know, swing your own driver 20 times like a workout, right? As fast as you possibly can. You don't need to spend money to incorporate some of these things. All right, left-handed swings with the red club. 94. 98. 97. That was terrible. 96. 98. All right. 98 on the left-handed side with the red. Now we go back to the green for an all-out. $121. $121. Backswing. $122. Backswing again. Backswing again. All right. We're going to take 122. I think that's up from yesterday, guys. That's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. You just doing speed practice today? Well, I'm going to do the speed training. And then, like usual, we'll have time for questions and just working on ball striking a little bit. You have a nice left-hand swing. Thanks, Sycamore. Hey, John, you answered a couple of my questions yesterday. Have you considered doing longer form content like course vlogs? I'd love to get your in-game thoughts. I have. I have some content like that on the channel. Let's do our max screen over here really quick, too. But you're right. I definitely need to do more of that. Actually, it's funny you say that. On Sunday. Tomorrow, I'm going to be filming a match against another scratch player, a close friend of mine who I played with in college. So that'll be kind of a longer form match type video that will come out hopefully in the next couple weeks. But I appreciate the support, Alex. That's really nice of you to say. But check out the videos that we do have. The 30-day putting challenge, that was a lot about, accountability for me, making sure that I was posting those pretty much every day. All right, let's do our 107, 103, 106, 104, 103. All right, so 107's up from 105 earlier. $107. Now, while we're still nice and warm, let's drop back over here. We're gonna do our driver. Oops, left it over here. It's funny, you habitually just see the head cover and you're like, that's where the driver must be. 112. 112 again. 108. 109. 110. All right, so 112 max today. Not quite as fast as our peak yesterday, 113, but still up 4 miles an hour from where we started. So some good work put in, guys. Here, let's get, so I have it for later. A nice look at the finals from today. Hey, Paul's in here. Durf said hi. Hey, Durf, is this guy good at golf? Well, it depends what your relativity is. I always tell people I'm okay. What do you think is the smartest club to invest in, like buying a new model? I would say probably driver. Driver's probably where you're going to pick up the most if if you've waited 4, 5, 6 years to upgrade your equipment. Yes, sir, Paul, doing our speed work. This is day 3, really, but day 2 since we've had data. Had no batteries in the launch monitor the first day, but that's okay. Yeah, yesterday gained 5 miles an hour from start to finish. 108 up to 113. Got our max overspeed, the green club, got that one up to 122. So I think that's a little faster than it was. So all around, some good stuff. Now, if you guys have questions or, you know, working on stuff in your own game, drills that you are interested in learning, just let me know. I'm going to be doing some myself, working on some ball striking here. Oops, I got to turn this guy off, save the battery. It's a good workout too, guys. It's, you know, it's a really good way to warm up, get loose. Roddy says, you're a nice guy, left you a follow. Thanks very much. Your swing makes me think you're a single-digit index. That would be right, Gary. If you believe you're okay, what would you say is good? Good, I think, is like +2, +3. Played most of my handicap gone up to like 2 point something now, but most of last year was off +1. Most of the year before that was off +1. So I've been, you know, around 0 or +1 a fair amount. This is the highest my handicap has been in probably 3 years. But working on a lot of stuff with the swing and the game. All trying to get better, so sometimes it's not going to be a straight line up, you know? That's why it's called a journey. Trying to work on some balance here, guys. Also, Paul, I'm glad you're here. I've been doing the caddy drag drill a lot, and I've really been enjoying how you know, just getting that lag feeling, right? Really not. I tend to kind of throw it sometimes and get flippy. And Paul told us about this drill, old school like Ben Hogan drill, where you drag the handle like this, and it forces the club to kind of lag, and boom. Just get that nice, crunchy, compressed feeling. Sycamore says, when will you apply this on the course? Do you mean the speed training, Sycamore? What's your top speed? My top speed on TrackMan is like 121 with an actual driver. Today, we got up to 112. Yesterday, I think it was 113. So starting to get back to closer to where I was maybe 10 years ago. But guys, I mean, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I was maxing out at like 102, 101. My body was in really tough shape, so it's been a multi-year process to, you know, get myself healthy, get some of the speed back. That was hit nicely. It is hot out here. So, Sycamore, the idea is, Thomas said hi. Hey, Thomas. Hey, DJ. So the idea with the speed training, right, is that if your all-out 100% speed is X, right, then your on-course number is somewhere less than that, right, because we care about hitting the ball and we care about where the ball goes. We don't want to hit it, you know, all over the place. So you're generally swinging it somewhere less than 100% of your max capacity, right? But if we make that capacity higher, well, then that 90% also comes up, right? So we're trying to incrementally. I'm not going to swing like that on the golf course, right? But if my 100% number goes higher, well, then my 90% number will also go higher, and I'll still be able to hit the center of the face and you know, again, hit a straightish ball that's going to end up somewhere, you know, in the fairway or where I can hit it again. And that's the whole idea, right? Is that then that swing is also faster than it was before. So it's not like the next time you see me play, like I'm going to be, you know, the first time I pull out a driver, it's going to be like a huge, you know, all-out kind of swing. It's still going to be a controlled, you know, I'm trying to hit the fairway kind of swing, but hopefully it will be at a higher speed. Does that make sense? I swing as hard as I can every time. Well, that can work too. Tom says, can you show how to flop? Yeah, we can do that. And try not to hit it over the net into my neighbor's yard here. All right, so if you need to hit a flop shot, a couple things that can help, you know, is setup wise, right? Open the club face, lean it towards you, right? This is how you open it and keep it pointed where you want, right? So setup wise, you know, I play it kind of in the middle of my stance maybe for a flop shot. And then pick it up really steeply, like really to the outside, away from you, this way. And then you're just going to try to let that club slide under the ball. Right, and you can take a pretty good sized swing and not hit the ball very far. Get it up really high in the air, landing softly. That's how I would do it, Tom. No, we want the long drive swing. What kind of clubs do you have? Well, the irons are, these are Takomo 301 CBs. These are really attractive. Not a lot of offset. It's going to be hard to see. All right, pretty clean top line, but still a little bit of perimeter weighting and forgiveness here. The putter depends on the day, but the woods are all tailor-made of some variety, and I have Vokey wedges. I've played those for a really long time. Might be jumping on the Lab Golf putting train, guys. Look out, but it's possibly gonna happen. Hey, Liam's here. Would you, yeah, Kimas, would you recommend the Takomos? I would, yeah. I mean, it's a nice looking piece of forged metal, right? That you're swinging into the ground at high speed. So we need it to perform and look attractive to our eye, and for me, it does both those things. You know, I came out, you know, I had a little bit of an advantage because I knew the shafts were going to be good. I just pulled the shafts out of my old irons and put them in the heads. So the feel for me is really, really good. To my eye, it looks super nice, right? This leading edge is very flat and clean. The top line's not overly bulky. I have been considering trying you know, getting fit at the start of next year potentially for something other than a tailor-made driver. You know, when the face cracked on the last one and I didn't get a replacement one, I was like, you know, maybe there is something to, you know, the Titleist or some of the other ones. Sport Trick Shots, if you shout me out, I'll donate a super hat. Shout out to Sport Trick Shots. Thank you very much for your support. That's very cool. What do you think is the appropriate amount to spend on a full set of clubs? Well, it's a good question, Tom, and my answer is maybe going to disappoint you, but my answer is whatever's the right amount for you, whatever you can afford. If you're brand new to golf and you're like, hey, I'm kind of interested in trying this, I'm not sure I'm going to love it, you know, you can go to eBay or the thrift store, pick up 4 or 5 clubs, you know, a driver, a putter, maybe a wedge, and a couple irons, and spend $100 and go out and have a great time. If you're like, hey, I'm really serious about this, I play multiple times a week, you know, I'm going to spend the money to get fit, you know, then you could say like, well, if you're going to do a whole bag, it's probably, you know, a couple $1,000s. But it doesn't have to be, you know, if that's not where you're at with golf. You know, I think again, the answer is whatever you can afford and fits into your lifestyle. And don't forget, it doesn't have to be, you know, all or nothing, right? You can invest piece by piece, you know, upgrade your driver, then upgrade your putter. What's your favorite shot to play into a green? I like playing like a chippy draw or chippy cut. Like would be my favorite, you know, if you're like, hey, what's the, like say I had, you know, 150 and that's like a pretty comfy 9-iron most of the time, but maybe there's a little wind into, like a wind into off the right to a right pin. I love taking one more club and just, you know, kind of making a 3/4 swing, letting it fall a few yards to the right and let the wind hold it. That would probably be the one if you're like, you know, give me the best chance to hit one close. That would probably be my answer. How do I donate? Good question. I think if you click on the bottom, there's a dollar bill sign. Show your support, and then you can do stickers or super chat. What size grips? I have jumbo Tour Velvets on here, and I also have a couple extra wraps of tape on the bottom hand here to take out some of the taper. That's your target off the tee to leave yourself your favorite shot. My irons are 20 years old. Yeah, I think whenever possible, you know, I think I just need to trust that more. I get a little, you know, my preference ideally, or like when I play the best is when I'm, you know, kind of playing creatively and seeing shots, hitting draws and fades. And I've gotten away from that a little bit, trying to be a bit more robotic, and I think it's my scores have suffered. So when I play tomorrow, I'm going to try to play a little more creatively and, you know, not necessarily just came out of that one, you know, try and hit a straight ball at the center of the green every time. Because I think sometimes I kind of lose focus when I'm just trying to, like, you know, play a stock shot at the center of the green. I think Paul asked if the irons are soft. Yes, these are forged. I would compare them, you know, they were just as soft as my TaylorMade MBs that I used to play. I've played Mizuno blades in the past. They feel pretty similar. You know, at some point it's just a forged piece of metal. When did you switch to jumbo and why? Your swing is very similar to Tiger's, but your head moves a little bit more. Well, I will certainly take the compliment, Paul, but I don't know if I can, like, in good conscience agree. Be like, yeah, of course my swing looks just like Tiger's. I don't think it feels that way. When did you switch to jumbo and why? So I played standard grips for a really long time, and part of it was, you know, I was trying to get the throw and the flip out of my swing that was very prevalent, and I found that with a smaller grip it was much easier to do that. Like I kind of was losing the handle, right? Whereas with these it's much easier to kind of feel it smoother, like I'm swinging it, you know, with my body, and taking my hands, making my hands more passive in the swing. That's how it feels to me anyway. I like how they feel. Somebody's barbecuing nearby, and it smells amazing. So yeah, you can probably tell by the sound too, guys. I mean, when they're struck well, they sound really nice. Make sure this stays where it's supposed to stay. One thing I will say, I think the durability of this mat has been pretty disappointing. That was not a good swing. Whew. Look at his, then look at yours from behind. Jason said hi. Anthony said hi. Hey guys, welcome back to the stream. Sycamore, turn up the smell button. I love barbecue. I know. I wish there was. Imagine if there was a way to transmit, like, this is what it smells like here from a place. That could go really good or really bad, because knowing the internet. Anybody else playing golf this weekend or already played today? I am really excited about this speed training, guys. I think could definitely help improve our scores. And you know, it's just one of those things I feel like you periodically have to keep doing. You know, just every year spend a little bit of time trying to get faster. Try to like mix around where on the mat I'm striking it so that it doesn't fully get worn out, but it can be tough. Let's do some caddy drags. This is a good one. Boom. It's a good reminder of like trying to feel some of that fluidity in the wrists and not having anything be too, you know, squeezing it too tight. I try to feel, and again, you asked the question about the jumbo grips. I try to feel like my grip pressure is at about a 4. You know, if 10 was as hard as I could possibly squeeze it. It rained all this afternoon. Sounds like you're hitting the center of the club. Yes, I think we've definitely been hitting the center a lot more. It connects you to the ground. Yeah, that makes sense to me, right? Because you have to really, you know, you're going to feel it, the weight in here, and then Yeah, I like that a lot. Everybody give Paul a shout out in the chat for sharing his teaching knowledge. And give yourselves a huge pat on the back. I have by far the best audience on YouTube because it only took a matter of months to get the channel fully monetized, guys. So thank you very much for all the support. Honestly, like, blows me away every single time I look or I do a stream and I see, like, you know, 100 new subscribers, 80 new subscribers, you know, people sending me super chats and all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm honestly very, very grateful. You know, hopefully someday this can really open up some cool doors and change my life, and it would be fun to find a way to spend even more time doing this. And we have superstars coming to say hi. Hello, the real stars of the channel. Yes. Did you lose your necklace? Did your brother take it from you? Oh, he did. Wow, look at that. Oh, you're doing some landscaping over there, buddy. He says, "Yeah, Dad, there's no hole here in the yard, and we need one. We need a big hole. I'm gonna work on it. You just keep doing your thing, Dad. Yeah." He said, "Yeah, we need a bigger hole. Can't you tell? We need one." They're the best. Grip it about a 1. You're doing well with your channel, bro. Thanks, Paul. Weston said hi. Hey, Weston. Yeah, the channel's doing great, guys. I am, you know, just pretty dumbfounded most of the time, thinking about how many people, you know, watch us do this and watch the videos. Grip it at a 1. All right, so we'll feel like a 1. Whoa, that was smushy. That's maybe a groove high. Wow. Maybe we should grip it at a 1. It's hard. It's like very intentionally feel like I'm not gripping it that hard. Cool. That's something to take away. Adventure Brothers said hi. Hey, Adventure Brothers. Paul said you need that whippiness for speed. Yeah, it certainly feels that way. Like you can kind of get more, like, oiliness in the wrists. And just really let it kind of... Well, sir. You did get the necklace from your sister. Look at you. Look at you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, there's 2. There's 2. Just kissing. Yeah. As long as you guys stay out of the danger zone. Wow. That one felt really good. I'm going to have to see how that one looks. Adventure Brothers says, I'm in Brazil and there is no golf here. Oh, that is sad. They said it's for old people. Well, that's what's cool about golf. It can be for everyone. You can play golf from the time you're 5 years old to 85. One of my favorite rounds from this year already was playing with 3 guys whose combined age was, I don't know, like 250? You know, 3 guys in their mid-80s. Just out having a great time. You should build your own golf course. That would be a fun project, Paul. I have no idea how I would do that. I don't know how or where I would build a golf course. I could build some holes, you know, around the yard. I've probably got like, you know, 12 yards, 15 yards from there to there. We could make that a hole, you know. Then we could play from the tee box to the top of the stairs. That could be another hole. I think designing a golf course would be fun. I don't know how you... You know, I think you have to play golf professionally for a long time, probably, to get into that line of work. But if someone is like, hey, I have 100 acres I need developed, and I want this guy to do it, this guy being me, we can happen. All right, so definitely grip at a 1. That one's going in the bag, so to say. What a beautiful day. Good day to take care of your mental health, take care of each other. Chris says, playing course tomorrow, any tips for putting? Don't putt too much. That's my best advice. No, I think just, you know, remember what your goals are. You know, you're not trying to hole a bunch of putts outside of 10 feet. You're just trying to 2-putt. Can you help me stop chunking my woods? Yeah, so if you're chunking it, guys, or if your low point is too far behind the ball, you know, you're hitting the turf before the ball, right? Most times it has to do with how your weight is transferring during the swing, right? So let's just use a very basic example. I'm going to borrow, you know, the Mini Mart. If you guys have ever seen Mini Mart on Golf Channel, just a little toy that makes a swing, but they use it to demonstrate, like, so imagine if I make a backswing, right, and my weight stays back here, what's going to happen? I'm going to hit the ground. So if your weight is staying on the back foot, that can cause you to chunk it. If I make the same swing, but my weight stays where it's at, I can hit the ball, right? But I'm not going to really compress it. I'm going to kind of maybe scoop it, right? But if I make that same backswing and I get my weight forward, now I'm in business. I can really deliver some power into that golf ball, right? So if you're chunking it, really work on getting that weight forward in transition, right? Making sure that low point is in front of the ball, so you're going to hit ball first and then the turf. And if you're getting off your backside, that should really help with chunking it. What does the crown with the number 3 mean? Good question, Adventure Brothers. That means that you are currently the number 3 top fan in the chat. I think this is a new feature that YouTube is rolling out. So if you like, you know, make a bunch of comments or give a super chat or something, you can get that little crown, you know, for some brand recognition in the chat and say, hey, I'm number 1. Nobody shows more support than me. So currently, you're the number 3 guy. Buddy, what are you doing back there? Man, that feels so good. hope I can bring some of these good swings to the course with me tomorrow. In that vein, let's hit some longer ones, shall we? How about a 7-wood? That could be fun. Hey, buddy. When you putt, never take your eyes off the ball. Low point in front of ball with woods, no. Well, if you're hitting a wood off of the turf and you don't want to chunk it, that's what I would do. If you're hitting a driver, sure, but I don't think that's what the question was.
Have you asked your audience if they've watched Stick?
Oh no, I don't think I have yet. Well, we haven't finished, so I don't want it to be ruined. And I feel like I'll have a more robust opinion.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw. I feel like I'll have a more robust opinion once we've finished watching it. No. Go on, time to go inside. Yeah, it is.
It's your favorite place.
Is it time to eat? Is it time to eat?
Yes, no, I already did that.
What? What? Go on, go see your mama.
Come here.
Go on.
Come on, you said big. Let's go. Can I grab your toy? No?
Ooh. Man, tell you what, that breeze is nice on a day like today. I love Stick. It's not done yet. Any tips on how to practice putting without tools? I chunk my woods when hitting in the fairway. Yeah, so that should help. How much bounce is on a 5-wood, bro? That's a great question, Paul. Yeah, just get that weight going more forward, Chris, and that should help a lot. What episode are you on? We might be caught up. I don't know if we might be 1 or 2 episodes behind. But I've really enjoyed it so far. I think Mark Maron's really funny. It's a little bit out of the toe. Yeah. That was hit pretty hard. Someday, guys, I'm going to try to convince maybe like Rapsodo to sponsor us. Get a nice mobile launch monitor back there, maybe with a little simulator or an iPad setup. That could be fun. We could do some, driving range stuff. Play golf out here. I'm excited to watch the Open tomorrow. Last major round of the year before the Ryder Cup. I think Scotty's going to get it done. 4-shot lead. Or is it 3-shot lead? Either way. Hard to pick against that guy. That's what happens when you get a little steep on it and you hit it right into the wood there. There we go. We talked about it earlier, guys, but like I mentioned before, be on the lookout for that giveaway that we're going to be doing, collaborating with First Responder Golf, Steve Pope, and all the work that he's doing trying to talk about mental health and you know, having these important conversations. Okay, so what are some tips for putting practice without a mirror or anything? You could use a couple extra golf balls and set up a gate, right? So use your golf balls to create a gate and then, you know, practice putting it on your start line. You know, you work on your speed control with a variety of golf balls. You know, putt one 5 feet, then try to putt it 5.5 feet, then 6 feet, then 6.5 feet. Like, try to develop your speed control skill. Dylan, hey Dylan. So the name of the net is Net Return. The turf box, I built this myself. This is just some 2x4s and some gym foam tiles underneath for some cushioning, right? Because just hitting off of the ground, you know, repeatedly off a net or off a mat can be tough on your joints. I think my favorite character is Mitzi, the caddy. He's just like so old and salty, and he feels like a real character. Like, that's probably what the caddy guy would be like. Open has the same vibes as the PGA this year. Yeah, I agree with you, Dylan. Kind of like, oh yeah, here we go again. You know, I'm gonna tune in because I love the golf and the course is amazing. But you're like, yeah, Scotty's gonna probably win. Kind of going away. I use the bounce on fairway woods. I just drag it back along the floor nice and easy. Then from the top of my backswing, just smash it down the middle. Love that. Hendrick says, man, I want to say you're a great golfer, but who's better, Tiger or Phil? Well, I'm going to go Tiger. I grew up as a Tiger guy. I grew up in that era of, you know, him winning everything by a million. Oh, that was a little bit stuck. I like that swing a lot. That's why they call it net return, guys, because it sends the ball right back to you. I'm waiting to hear back from them about their affiliate program. I have a hard time with sticks sometimes because I'm like, I know he's playing a character, but I'm like, that's Owen Wilson. It's just Owen Wilson in a show that has other characters who are like characters, but it just always seems like Owen Wilson is just Owen Wilson. When Scotty gets up heading into Sunday, it always feels like it's over. I agree with you, Dylan. Yeah, it just kind of feels like, I don't know, unless he falls down the stairs or, like, you know, hurts himself making a sandwich again. Like, how is somebody gonna... I mean, he'd have to shoot something in, like, you know, 72, 73, and somebody else is gonna have to shoot 67 or 66, probably. And it just feels hard to imagine both those things happening. I really wish Rory had capitalized on, you know, some of the par fives if he had played those better today. To really shoot, like if he'd shot a 63, 62, something really low, to put some pressure on Scotty, I think that could have made tomorrow a lot more interesting. But yeah, like who else out there is gonna do it? I don't know. Sorry, I get distracted easily. Not one of those like, oh, I maybe have a little bit of pretend ADHD. I'm full blown. Got the diagnosis a long time ago. I don't think you're even feeling the hit on the ball. Comes shooting off the club face. Yeah, it does feel like that. I feel like today especially. Hendricks and Hollywood have the same question. Who's your favorite golfer of all time? All time, I'm going to say Tiger Woods. Because, like I said, I grew up just watching him. Currently, I'd probably say either Bryson or Ludwig. I just love Ludwig's approach to golf. His swing is amazing. Plays super fast. Just seems like a really, you know, fun hang. And then Bryson, for the similar reason, I'm just like, that guy would be super interesting to spend time with. You know, clearly has, doesn't care what other, you know, what's normal or, you know, what's expected of you. He's like, nah, dude, I'm going to figure things out, do it my own way. You know, hit the ball a mile. Figure out this kind of funky putting style, but is super effective. But number one, all day, it's got to be Tiger. Also, guys, I think coming up soon, I might be doing some things, you know, other forms of content like podcasts. Maybe you'll be able to get to hear me talk in a different kind of format. That could be cool. Hitting some sand wedges now at the moment. This is my 56 degree. Scheffler, I really thought was only going to play good for a year. With the way his legs move, I was wrong. Well, Sycamore, it's a good point, right? It's important to remember it's okay to be wrong about things. You're not going to be right about everything you ever say or think or do. And I think it's a great sign of maturity, you know, intellectual awareness to be able to say, like, hey, I used to think that and I was just wrong. What irons do you have? Good question, Hendricks. I have the Tacomo 301 CB irons. These are a really attractive piece of kit. Really nice sole design. Really looks good at address, not a lot of offset. This bottom line here, super flat. This is something that I look for a lot, right? I don't need to see a lot of rounding in this bottom edge here. So this is the 6 iron. When I bought them, I just bought the heads, and then I had the shafts pulled and put into these. The shafts were in my old irons. So easy to know that those are gonna fit me and work well. Whew. All right, guys. Well, we did our speed training. We've done some good ball striking work. Working on, tempo and balance. For me, too, it's important to differentiate. I'm working really hard on trying to separate, the driver swing and the iron swing. Because they are, different things. Trying to make sure that this iron swing is really connected. Almost like a 3/4 kind of backswing length. Got plenty of speed, don't need to overswing it, which is something that I tend to do when my swing gets away from me. What shafts are those? They look thick. You're looking for the feeling that all you can feel is the club head. You know what I mean, John? Yeah, I do know what you mean, Paul. These are KBS C-Taper 125 gram S Plus Flex shafts. So in between S and X. Yes, I like that. I agree with what said. Just that feeling of shaft or anything moving around. All I'm trying to feel is where that club head is at, what the face is doing. Man, I'm gonna have to get a grill set up in here pretty soon, because smelling all the neighbors' grill and meats out here, not being able to do the same myself. And then lastly, guys, what I've been doing is working on some like intentional draws and fades. Right, kind of alternating, even with a short club like this, you can practice that. And really just trying to see what we can learn about the swing and building that, club face, club path relationship skill. Hit a few more here and then probably call it for the day. So the draw one feels really solid. Always going to be a little tougher to fade a short iron, but getting some of those feels dialed in can be really good. And that's it, guys. That's kind of what the practice session looks like. Took you through some speed training, some ball striking work, answered some questions. Aiden Potgeeter said hi. What's up, Aiden? You related to the almighty Aldrich? It's not the most common name. Sycamore said, tell us how you do tomorrow. I will. It'll be good to play a competitive match, even if it's with an old friend. Couldn't help myself. Let's hit a few more 6 irons before we go. That was hit nicely. It's also hit pretty nicely. Man, when you're swinging it good, there's just something that's really addicting, fun about just going back to the center of the club face over and over again. Yeah. That was pretty flushed. Pretty flushed. Try to save some of the mat. Yeah, nice. Everything is possible, John. Enjoy your night, bro. Thanks very much, Paul. I appreciate all your support. Thank you, guys. One more chance. If you haven't hit that subscribe button for me, please smash that subscribe button. Really does help us out. And thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button.